Hey y'all, this is Leroy the Grease Monkey. Now right here I've got my '01 Dodge Ram 1500. I pulled this thing out of a field. It's a little bit of a mess, but anyway, that's my AC. I'll explain that on a later video. But so this old truck's sitting in the field for about a year and a half or better, and I've pulled it out of the field and done a little work to her, rebuilt front end and rear end of it in the form of the rear limited slip had gone bad, so I had to pull the whole rear end out and take it apart to fix that. And then I had to rebuild all the front ball joints and whatnot. But when I first pulled this truck out, the battery died, and so it wouldn't idle. Well, in these trucks they have a valve back there, and anytime you disconnect your battery, the idle it gets lost, so it has to relearn its idle, and that valve back there has to ends up having to like relearn where it's supposed to be as well. So for a little bit you'll have trouble where you'll have to use both feet to basically float the truck and keep it running, and hold the brake at the same time, which isn't ideal. So mine, I didn't want to deal with that and deal with it ever again. So what I did, since I didn't know how good my valve was, is right back here under this, you'll see these couple of zip tie strings coming out of here, maybe. I don't know, I can't, but yeah, because right in there's where the throttle is and whatnot. And so what I've done is and there's a spot there where the throttle butts up against it. That's where the throttle closes. Well, if you put something there that'll keep the throttle from closing all the way, something really thin, like say a zip tie or two, which is what I have on here. I don't know if you can see it or not. Camera angle my camera and whatnot. I've got a couple of zip ties around that, and what that does is that means that it can idle without a problem at all. And that solves the issue of if your battery ever dies on you, or you press your battery or something like that, or have to disconnect it, your truck doesn't have to relearn its idle. It'll just stay put. Now, of course, there's probably a picture of that with a circle and a line through it somewhere. But hey, if I followed everything by the book, then this truck wouldn't be on the road. Even though it purrs like a kitten. So yeah. See, now it idles just fine. It idles at about now 700 RPM, and that's good. And it doesn't have a problem. The occasional time when it doesn't want to idle, that when you first start it up, but I think that's because my valve is completely bad on this. But it idles just fine all the time. So yeah, that's an old tip I found out that I thought I'd show y'all in case your truck doesn't want to idle. That'll solve the problem of it having to relearn its idle every time you disconnect the battery, and that'll solve the problem of it not wanting having to deal with replacing that valve every now and again. One fix, couple of zip ties, and she'll run like a dream. That's Redneck Repairs for you. Thanks, and see you later.